Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Systems Rescue Power Hour. How great does that sound? So, here's what we're doing every Thursday. Every week, we get together and you can join this broadcast for free. You can be live and get your questions answered, or you can send them to me in email. I'm going to pop my email into the chat, put it on the screen. So you can send me your questions in advance. We've got some today that some people have asked in advance, and so I'm going to answer them. And even if you can't be here live, then you can see it all on the replay and I'll answer your questions. So this is the email that you need to send your questions to. And it's right underneath my name down here on the screen. All right. So today we are talking about CRM foundations that actually work, because a CRM is only powerful when the foundation is strong and solid. If your foundation is shaky, messy, or half built, everything else becomes harder in your business, harder than it needs to be. A lot of business owners buy a CRM hoping it's going to bring order and save time and help them grow. And the simple act of buying the CRM does not make that happen. There's a good bit of work that goes into it and dedication to start new habits and actually use the CRM after you buy it. But instead, they end up with confusion, duplicate data, missing follow-up. They have a whole Franken system that they've tried to build by using different apps. There's information all over the internet. And the system that they just don't fully trust. And if that sounds familiar, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, I want to simplify this for you. Now, I'm just going to go through very quickly. Each week, I'm going to teach for about 15 or 20 minutes on a subject that's going to apply to every business owner. And then I'm going to open up for Q&A, and anyone can ask questions in the comments or come on live if you want to and join me in the live and ask your question that way. And plus, of course, I'll have questions that were asked in the email ahead of time. So let's jump into the training. So I want to simplify this for you today. Why CRM foundations really matter so much. A CRM, it's not just a database. It's the home base for your whole client journey. It helps you know who came in, where they came from, what they need, what stage they're in their business or in their journey that you solve, and what should happen next. That's all contained in one place in your business. When the foundation is right, your CRM becomes a support system. When it's wrong, it becomes another thing on your to-do list, another source of aggravation, fear, self-doubt, and it becomes a bottleneck. It is supposed to clear up bottlenecks, but when your CRM doesn't have the right foundation, it becomes a bottleneck. So let's go on and see what we can do about it. So I want to say this gently. If your CRM feels overwhelming, that does not mean you're in a bad system. Okay, I'll say that again. If your CRM feels overwhelming, does not mean that you have a bad system. It usually means the system was never set up the way that machine's how your business actually works. Okay, it just doesn't match how your business actually works. It is a machine and it will do what you tell it to do. But whoever set it up or didn't set it up, sometimes we buy things and then we just rip off the packaging and we dive in and use it. I'm that kind of person. I used to read all the instructions and take an awful long time to even start to open something up. And now I've kind of swung the opposite direction. I'm adventurous. And when I buy some software, I just start clicking along and don't always remember to set up a foundation on the new apps, as we get the new apps. So that's all that means. If your CRM feels overwhelming, it does not mean that you've made a bad purchase or that you're a bad business owner. Okay. It just means that you need that foundation built better. All right. So, foundation number one, we're going to go through several foundations today. Foundation number one, know the job of your CRM. The first foundation is deciding what the CRM is actually for, what it is supposed to do for you. Right? And a lot of people have different ideas of what they want their CRM to do. And almost all business owners are going to go, I want more leads. And you can use your CRM to get more leads, manage them, and convert them to clients. However, that's only one thing that your CRM can do. So a lot of people try to make their CRM do everything at one time. They want it to manage leads, appointments, follow-ups, team communications, emails, pipelines, and reporting, all before the basics are working. So they want to just jump right in there into the shiny new toy, right? And CRMs can do all of those things very, very well, and they can kind of trigger and fire each other to happen. And it's a beautiful thing when it's set up right, when you have the foundation. So what is the primary job of my CRM? For most businesses, the answer is something like this: capture leads, organize contacts, track conversations, move people through a sales process, and help the business owner save time. That's the name of the game, because time is money, and we all need money to run our business and to have a satisfying life outside of our business. That takes money, all of that. And time is money. And let me tell you this too. You'll hear me say this often throughout these trainings. Time is the only resource that you can't get more of. And it doesn't matter who you are, how powerful you are, what your name is. If you're a celebrity, you cannot get more time, no matter what. And so how we spend our time becomes very, very important. You can always make more money. You can make a new product. You can do a lot of things. You can almost create something out of nothing, but you cannot get more time. So if you don't define the job, then the CRM will always feel vague and frustrating for you. So let's make sure right off the bat, you define what you want your CRM to do. So foundation number two, keep your contact structure simple. The second foundation is your contact structure. This is where people get into trouble. Okay? They create too many tags, too many fields, too many categories, and too many ways to label the same person. Now, there's a caveat to this, because some of the practice that I have found to be successful is I will tag one person 3 different ways from meeting me at one meeting. This just happened the other day. I went to a different town. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I met several people at a very specific place that I want to remember that that's where they came from, because I want to track the usefulness of me driving 2 hours to get there and 2 hours home based on the quality of the leads that I got. So each one of those people got 3 tags just from meeting me in that one location. When we talk about tags specifically and segmenting your list, I'll go into more detail about that. However, this foundation is warning you not to over-tag and over-categorize people and over-label them, because you're going to create a spider's nest for yourself, and or spider web for yourself. And then it'll be harder for you to find the people that you really want when you want them. And then then nobody knows what anything means anymore. So you will really want a structure. So keep it simple. Use clear contact types, lead, customer, vendor, that kind of thing. Use only the fields you actually need in the contact record. We're going to look at that in detail one of these weeks in the future. Use tags intentionally, not randomly. And very, very importantly, like I was just mentioning, those people I met at that one specific event, they all get the exact same tag. You don't make new tags for each person. Make sure everyone on your team understands the naming system. Very, very important. And this is one of the most important ingredients for successful business in your CRM is how you tag people and how you communicate to your team. And you might say, well, I don't have anyone on my team right now. That's okay. Someday you will, and you will need to show them and teach them the right way to do it. And so you have to start it off the right way from the beginning. All right. Foundation number 3, build one clean pipeline. A pipeline that actually matches your processes. So you can get people on YouTube and everywhere will tell you how to build a pipeline. And it might have steps in there that you don't even do. Or it might be missing critical steps that you do in your business. So make sure your pipeline matches exactly what your business process does. And don't be afraid to change it. After I've worked many times in several team environments where we decided, oh, we need another stage in this pipeline. So you just add a stage. So it's not, once your pipeline is built, doesn't mean that it's set in stone. You can always change it. It should reflect the real stages that your client goes through, not the stages you wish they went through, not the stages that another business uses for their client journey. Okay. So for example, here's a pipeline stage system that you might use. A new lead comes in and then they get contacted and they stay in the new lead field until they do get contacted. And then they book an appointment. So they stay in the contact stage until they actually book an appointment. And then, of course, they showed up for the appointment. And if they didn't show up, then they stay in the step before that. And then we sent a proposal. It's already sent. And then if you won or lost the business, that's a very streamlined, very clean, simple lead management to conversion pipeline. And it's measuring the steps that are required to happen for each person. One thing I really love about the pipeline is it keeps track of how long someone stays in each step. You might say, these first 3 steps should take 5 days at the most, or that's what our typical customer goes through. And then if you start seeing regularly that people are suddenly taking a week in each step, that's an alarm bell. That's a red flag for you to look at your process and say, okay, is there something wrong with our process, or do I have a team member that doesn't understand their role? Or there's a lot of information you can get from your pipeline when you put people through the pipeline. So a good pipeline should help you answer what stage is the person in, what needs to happen next, who owns the next step, very important, of your team members, and is anything stalled. That's what I was talking about when I said suddenly they're there for a week instead of 2 or 3 days. They're stalled, and you need to figure out why. And you might need to make an improvement on your process. You might need to retrain someone that's in that team that's running those customers through there. Okay, foundation number 4, automate the basics first. The 4th foundation is automation, but not the fancy kind first. Do not start with advanced automations before you have the basics working. So some of the essential basics are going to be new lead notifications, notifying a salesperson or the company owner, whatever your structure is, notifying the right person that a new lead has come in. Because once you get a new lead, let's say it's from an app or it's from a social media post where they clicked a button and now you have a lead, you need to contact them immediately. The first company to respond when someone shows their interest is usually the winner. They win the business. So you need to be able to automate that notification to you that you have a new lead so you can get right on it. Appointment confirmations. Absolutely. And reminder messages. We know that being able to schedule an appointment without talking to someone and going back and forth through that, oh, I'm available on Friday at 10 a.m. Oh, I'm not. How about Saturday at 3 p.m.? No, that's family time. Oh, let's look at Monday at 2 in the afternoon. I can't do that. That whole back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It used to be an important part of business, and now people just don't tolerate it. They want to be able to book online in a snap. So you can offer them your booking link. They can find a time that works for you and them, and you're off to the races. So, and then the reminders. We know that people are 80% more likely to show up to an appointment when they have gotten reminders that that appointment is coming. So you can automate those. And that is the simple, but very important, critical first steps of automation that you want to do in your CRM. Follow up after no response. If someone no-shows to their appointment, or if you send them an invitation of some kind and they don't respond, then you automate the follow-up. So you don't have to walk around keeping track in your mind of who you need to contact and remind of something. And then simple nurture sequences, just a drip. A lot of people, that's a phrase you might be familiar with, a little drip of information that nurtures someone along. It educates them. It tells them about your company, your product. It tells them how you can alleviate their pain or stress or whatever situation, fear, worry that they're in. And it's just a little drip of information that they want to receive. So these are automations that save time right away. Can you see from my description of those few that I just mentioned, those basic ones, how much time you're going to save and how much mental clutter won't be up in your head trying to keep track of all those things? So a lot of business owners think automation has to be complex to matter, and that is just wrong. It does not. Even one solid follow-up sequence can recover missed opportunities and reduced manual work. Now, also, just I'll insert this here as well. If you are saying, geez, I wish I knew this a few months ago, I've lost a lot of leads, they've gone cold, that's not too late for that either. You can use your CRM system to re-engage with those people and warm them back up, and then they can still buy from you. All right, foundation number 5, clean data wins every time. This is what a lot of people call list hygiene, and it's clean data, and data meaning the information that you have about them and the information you have about how to contact them. So the CRM cannot work if the data inside is messy, cloudy, just incomplete. Okay? So this means what we're talking about when we say messy: duplicate contacts, the same person in there more than one time, outdated emails. They don't use that email address anymore, and you still have that as their email. Missing phone numbers, bad formatting. For example, the email address doesn't have a .com on the end, or something is wrong with the format of the phone number, or something is wrong with the phone number or the email address. And contacts who are never organized properly. So before you learned about the efficient way to use tags and categories and labels, you either didn't use them at all, or you overused them, got it too complex. All right, so clean data helps you send better messages because you're going to send the right message to the right person, the subject that they are interested in hearing about, because you know them, you keep track of what's important to them and what kind of services they're looking for. Send better messages, improve deliverability, meaning deliverability means you're getting your emails into the inbox, not the spam folder or promotions, or hopefully not just bouncing completely and not getting anywhere. So improve deliverability. This is a very, very big subject. We're going to talk about this a whole week in the future. It helps you avoid confusion, and it helps you trust your reporting. If you can't trust your reporting, then where are you in your business? So if your CRM is full of junk, don't blame the software. Clean up the list. So foundation number 6, make it usable for real humans. This is just simply usability. This is a big one. Your CRM should make life easier for the people who actually use it. That's you and your team. And your VA, your admin, your support staff, anyone who is using your CRM, it needs to work well for them and not become a burden. It only makes sense to the person. If it only makes sense to you or the person who built it, it is not fully functional. Ask these questions. Can my team use this without guessing? Do they know what to do next? Is the process easy to follow? Can we trust what happens when a button is clicked? This is paramount for business owners. Whenever I talk to people that have either built the system themselves or they hired a consultant to build the system, now the consultant is gone and they don't know what's going to happen when they click that button. And therefore, they don't click the button. They can't take a risk on annoying their customers or sending out multiple emails at one time that they don't intend to. They just don't know what's going to happen. And therefore, they can't trust the button. They're not going to use it. Therefore, they're not taking full advantage of the machine, the software, the system that they purchased. So people stop using systems that they don't understand. And we're talking about your CRM here, your client database, the software that you're supposed to be, you need to be able to be using it to run your business. And you either use a teeny tiny portion of it that you know is going to work right, or you don't even use it. You just keep paying for it every month. And that becomes very frustrating and very expensive, because not only are you not getting the help you need for your business, you're also spending money on an asset that you're not using. So it's pushing you further down into the hole every month. Okay. People stop using systems that they don't understand. If this is happening to you, then again, you are in the right place. And when that happens, the business falls back into manual work. All right. Foundation number 7, review and improve regularly. Maintenance is the name of the game in this foundation number 7. A CRM is not a set it and forget it tool. It needs constant review, constant tweaking. It's like, again, I'm sure you've heard the example, a plane takes off in LA and it's going to New York. It doesn't just set the 180 degrees and leave it there. They will go so far off course that it will be almost unrecoverable. They make constant little tiny adjustments as they're flying all the way across the country that helps them land directly in the right runway at the New York airport. And that's what you need to do with your CRM. You set it up the way you want it, but then you make constant tweaks and improvements as you go along. It's not a set it and forget it tool. So you want to regularly ask yourself, what is working? Quarterly is a good gauge if you are under $1 million. If If you're over $1 million in revenue, you want to do this probably monthly. And at $10 million, you want a team of people doing this constantly, weekly probably. So ask yourself, what is working? What is not being used? Where are the leads falling through the cracks? What is creating extra steps? What can we simplify? If you constantly ask yourself that on a regular basis, then you're going to be making those tiny adjustments that's going to help your company's plane land exactly where you want it to. Keep the leads coming in, keep the leads engaged and warm and converting to clients. This is where all the small improvements make really big results. Sometimes the problem is not the whole CRM. Sometimes it's just one broken step that's causing all the frustration because there is a ripple effect, because this one thing that you set up maybe made a mistake in it. It's triggering or not triggering other things to happen that need to happen to keep the business going forward. So a simple foundation formula is how you can remember all of this, the things that I've just been teaching about. Clarity plus structure plus automation plus clean data and usability and maintenance. So that is what makes a CRM foundations actually work. Not more complexity, not more features, not more tech for the sake of tech. All right? Just a system that is clear, organized, and built for the way your business really runs. So if your CRM has felt overwhelming, unfinished, or hard to trust, I want you to know it is not too late to build a system that works. And that's what we're going to do here every week. You do not need to do everything at one time. You do not need to master every feature in your CRM. You just need a solid foundation. So we're going to go through the basics again. Know the job that you want the CRM to do. Simplify your structure. Build one clean pipeline. Automate the essentials. Clean your data, your list. Make it usable. And keep improving it all the time. That's how you turn a confusing CRM into a business asset. And by the way, I didn't mention this yet. You'll hear me say this often, very often. Your CRM should never be a business expense. A lot of business owners feel like that's an expense. It's money I have to spend every month. It's costing me money. Your CRM should make you money hand over fist. Over the amount of money that the investment you make to buy your CRM should be a pittance compared to the tremendous amount of revenue that it generates for you. So if that's not the case for you, then you're in the right place also. Thank you for being here today. If this gives you clarity, come back next week for the next Systems Rescue Power Hour and bring your questions, because we're going to start answering them right here, right now. Because I love helping business owners make their systems feel simple, supportive, and powerful. Your CRM should help you breathe easier, not feel more buried. So if you've been stuck in manual work, duplicate data, or a system that you don't trust, this is your reminder. The foundation can be fixed. All right. So that's our training for this week. And we're going to start answering questions from the audience. Right now, I've had some people send me emails asking about how to do things in their CRM. Now, when I demonstrate, I'm going to be using Go High Level, However, it's very important for you to remember that if you're using Salesforce or HubSpot or can't think of any other ones right now, any of the other CRMs, or if you're using a CRM that your company bought and you have to use that CRM, Constant Contact is another one, MailChimp. Some of them are going to have the same features that I'm going to show you, and some won't. And so you don't have to have the same software that I'm using to benefit from the training that I'm giving, okay? That's just wanted to let you know about that. So the first question that came in the email fits perfectly with some of the training that I just gave. And it's a foundational aspect, and it's internal communication with your staff. So they want to know about how do your CRM, most of them will build a task list for you. And that means it's literally your to-do list. And when you open your CRM in the morning, if you're looking at a dashboard, it's going to give you information about sales and your leads and those kind of things. It's going to give you a list on that screen as well of your tasks that you need to do for the day. Now, there are two kinds of tasks. There's several other kinds, but two major divisions. And here's what I mean. A task that is important to the company, but not tied to a specific contact or client or lead. For example, renew the tags on the van, the delivery van, or take the van for an oil change, or talk to the landlord about putting up a new sign, or something that is for the company, but not for a specific client or lead or contact. Now, the other kind of tag that you can use in your CRM system is a contact-based task. So if you have to call Bob Smith on Thursday at 9 a.m. because you said you would, then you would make a task in Bob Smith's contact record that says call him on Thursday at 9 a.m. And that would then be forever tied with Bob Smith, that task was created. And that does a few things as well, especially when you have team members. If you're the owner of the company and you have 3 team members and you need for them to be doing things. Darren Hardy, I'm listening to one of his books, and Darren Hardy went through his morning routine very recently. I was listening to the book, and after he goes through some stretching and meditation, has his coffee, then he sits down at his computer and he sends out a flurry of messages and tasks for his team to do. And so that is one of the ways that you can manage your staff, your salespeople, your administrative staff, your copywriter. You can create a task and assign it to them as long as they are a user on your CRM. They are on your team inside the CRM. So let's look at what I'm talking about. I'm getting ready to share my screen. All right. I am going to share my Go High Level account. Now, on this is one person's contact record in my Go High Level account. There's so much on this screen that I could tell you about, and I love every bit of it that I get so excited about. But let's talk about a task. Now, this is the screen for Go High Level. Remember, if you're using a different one, HubSpot or Salesforce, or a different one, even one that your company gave you, there's probably a task feature. All right, so way over in the far right side of the screen are some things that I can do that relate directly to this contact. All right, so here I've landed here on the option for me to create a task on the right hand side of the screen. Don't have any tasks yet, but I can add a task right here. And now this is for me to call him. So I'm going to say call about CRM improvements. Okay. And down here, I'm going to say he wants a new calendar for quick calls to set up a visit. Okay. So he wants me to set up a calendar for him for people to come and tour the gym. Now, this is the task. This is a task that's telling me that I need to call him about this subject. All right. So the date and time of the task is tomorrow and 8 a.m. That's fine. I want that task to be due for me first thing in the morning. And this can be, you can set up a reoccurring task right here as well in this software. Now I'm going to assign it to, who am I going to assign it to? I'm going to assign it to myself because I'm the one that's going to act on this. But if I wanted someone else to call him, I would just click on who is supposed to be calling him. And it's assigned to this contact down here in the far right corner in the bottom of the screen. This is the contact that this task is tied to, and it always will be. So I'm going to create that task for myself. So it's going to send me reminders when my task is coming up due. Now that task is very specifically tied to this one particular customer. When that task is completed, then I'll put a little check mark on it and say that it's done. It'll stay with him, but it will come off of my to-do list and it won't be part of the main company tasks. So that is one way to set up a task in your CRM. Now, another question, and by the way, if you have any questions about what we're doing here, you can put them right into the comments. Even if you're on the replay, you can put them into the comments and I will be able to answer you at whatever stage and time that you see this. So now, someone else wanted to know, well, how do I book an appointment? Here's the importance of using your CRM to book an appointment. Certainly, you could talk to someone and you just instantly both agree on 9:30 on Friday morning. Then it seems like, I don't have to use my CRM for that because we already both agree that we're going to meet at 9:30 on Friday morning. And so then now this is an example of how you could do it without using your CRM. So then you put it on your calendar, on your phone. I'm going to meet with him and this is where we're going to go. And it's 9:30 on Friday morning. So it's on your calendar. However, it's not on his because he forgot to put it on there. And you have no way of knowing that. Also, before Friday morning, then one of you says, oh, shucks, can we move that to 9 instead of 9:30 because I have to be somewhere and I need to finish up faster. And the other one says, sure, that's fine. So you move the appointment from 9:30 to 9 a.m. on your calendar, and it stays at the same location. But unbeknownst to you, he doesn't have it on his calendar. He's relying on his memory. So it's not on his calendar, not even the 9:30. So the fact that you both agreed to change it to 9 a.m., not on his calendar. Also, he's not going to get any reminders about this meeting unless you call or text him a reminder. And so what do we know about people who receive reminders for their meetings? 80% more likely that they're going to actually show up than if they don't get reminders. So now the calendar is only on your, the appointment is only on your calendar, and you've changed the time, agreed to change the time. And so now it comes up Friday morning. It's 8:30, you're on your way there, you get there a little early, and then you wait and wait and wait. 9 o'clock comes and goes, and you think, oh, he's probably going to get here at 9:30 because that was our original time. Doesn't show up at 9:30, doesn't show up at all. And you don't understand why he didn't show up, because he seemed so interested in meeting with you. It was his idea. He picked the time and the day and the location. So you don't understand what's going on. Why is he not here? And it's all because the two of you were not connected by a system, and because he didn't receive notifications and reminders. So I'm going to show you again in Go High Level how we can set up an appointment. And by the way, most CRMs, ones that are of a caliber like Go High Level, will allow you to use your cell phone to do the exact same thing that I'm doing on the computer. So you'll be able to take your business with you in your pocket. You don't have to have a laptop open all the time or a desktop computer open all the time. You don't have to be sitting in your home office to manage information and manage client communications in your CRM. So I'm going to show you on the computer how to set up an appointment. We're just going to use this same person as a little guinea pig here. And when I'm looking at his contact record, and this far left column is the menu, the dark gray. Then the first white column on the left is information about him. In the middle is all the communications that I've had with him by phone and email and text, and when he interacts with my website or talks to me on social media, all that's in one place. And then here is the activity area right here. So the task that we just created is still there. Now we're going to move all the way to the right side, and we're going to keep going down on these options until we see appointments. And I'm going to click on the right side. It looks like a calendar. I'm going to click right there to book an appointment with him. And I'm going to click this little white button that says Add Appointment. Now remember, if you're using some other kind of CRM, the screen may look vastly different from this. However, they should support this kind of appointment booking directly inside the client's contact record. So right here, I have a little drop down of all the different kinds of appointments that I have pre-loaded. A 30-minute Zoom, a 60-minute in-person meeting, a 60-minute Zoom. This 30-minute Zoom is specifically for people who booked from LinkedIn, so I know where they came from. And then there's a 20-minute audit, and there's a 2-hour deep dive. So I am going to book this 30-minute Zoom meeting with him. And the appointment title is going to have his full name there because it's programmed in there automatically. It's going to drop it right in there. And I'm going to say we're going to meet about those CRM improvements that he's looking for. The team member is going to be me. I'm going to choose my own name. And again, you could have multiple people in your company. If you want someone else to do this, you would select that person's name if they're part of your CRM. So we're showing this appointment time in Eastern time. Now, the default availability is going to be based on all the appointments I already have on my calendar. It's only going to show me what's open based on those things. So let's look at this. So it's showing that I could book any of these dark days. any of these days is going to have at least one opening. Any of these gray days, you can't book an appointment on these days because they already happened. You can't do that. But these days in the future are blocked out because in my settings for this appointment, I declared that you could only book it 2 weeks in advance. So therefore, you can't go more than 2 weeks in advance. This is all something you can customize in your own settings. So let's say we're going to meet tomorrow, and then it's only going to offer you the times that I have available on that day. Okay? Now, let's say, all right, I want to meet, say, Friday night at 7:30 p.m. That's the only time that I know that I can meet with him and it works for him. We've already discussed it. So I can click here on custom, and that's going to let me override the availability that's on my calendar. So then I can choose Friday, the date here, and the time is up here in this area right here. So I'm going to put 7:30, and I'm going to click OK on the time and then click confirm on the appointment. Now, right here, if it's reoccurring, if it happens every week, you can set that up, or every month or something like that. Now, the location, this meeting location, obviously is very important, very important. So the calendar default will have an address or a location when you set it up. But if you want to override that, and since we're meeting 7:30 on a Friday evening, that's definitely going to be a Zoom meeting. And so that meeting location, I can type right in here exactly where it is. This way, that URL will show up directly in his calendar appointment. Now, if it's a location, you can start typing in the address, and then the address finder will get it, and that way it'll be searchable for the person who receives it. So then I say book appointment. There we go. In the upper right, I got a quick little notification the appointment is booked, and right here in his contact record, this is the email that he receives right here in the middle, that he has an upcoming appointment. It's set for Friday at 7:30 p.m. And here's the meeting link, and he can just join. Now, it also lets him add it to his Google Calendar or Outlook or iCloud calendar. So that is how you can book an appointment. And by the way, we did this on a computer. So I think you did not see any of that because I didn't share the screen. I'm going to share the screen. We did all this on a computer, and you can do the same thing on a phone is what I was just going to tell you. So all the steps you didn't get to see, but they started way over here on the right-hand side with this calendar, and then I clicked add appointment. I went through all the selections, and I had pre-populated the appointment type, of course, before this. And then when I filled it all out and sent it, and I said, save and confirm this appointment, then it sent this email to the client right here. This is the email that the client received. And this is live because I actually did do it, so he did receive this email just now. And it says that it's a Zoom meeting about the CRM improvements, and this is the day and time, and this is the link that he needs to click on. And right here, he can add it to his Google Calendar or Outlook or iCloud. So that is one way of booking an appointment. And since I was saying that, you can do the exact same thing on your phone. Okay. And someone asked about making phone calls. Again, obviously using your phone to make phone calls from your CRM is going to be mostly what people are going to do. your CRM probably has it will need an app that you will need to download onto your cell phone, and you will use the app to dive into your CRM. They'll be connected from your computer to the app on your phone. Same database, okay? You're using the exact same database on the phone as you would if you're sitting at your computer after you have them both connected. Now, I'm going to show you on the computer how to make a phone call. And this is such a blessing. This is one of the best things about having a CRM, in my opinion. You don't have to hold a phone to your hand. You don't have to have earbuds or something in. You can use your laptop. You can use the speaker on your laptop if it's a good one. You can use an external microphone, like a podcast microphone if you want as well. But you can make phone calls one after another in your CRM. And when you have your list set up and segmented, like we talked about in one of the foundations, you can just get a list of people to appear on the screen, and you can just click and call that person, make a little note, click the next person, call them, make a little note, and just keep clicking because you've already filtered out everybody else that doesn't fit the need. Let's say I wanted to, all those people, I met all these people the other night at that place in Chattanooga, and I want to call just them. So I would be able to filter down 11 people out of the thousands that I have in my list, just have them on the screen, click the first person, chat with them a little while, make some notes about that conversation, then click the very next person, not have to go searching through the whole database to find the people that fit that very specific meeting that I want to follow up on. Okay? So now I'm going to show you the mechanics of calling someone from the computer. And here's a disclaimer. I won't be able to actually make the phone call because I'm using my microphone already for this. So I'm going to stop short of connecting actually with the person. So here we go. Again, this is Go High Level, and any system that you're using, if it's HubSpot or Salesforce or Keep or anything else like that, should have a feature like this where you can make phone calls from the computer. Now, in this contact record, remember, we're looking at this gentleman right here. And right here where my cursor is, across the top of the middle section of the screen, I can make a phone call. All right. I see that I'm not sharing. Okay. Here we go. We're going to share. All right. There. So now, same contact. This is his contact name. His name is also right here. So if you're looking at the screen and you're thinking, wait a minute, who am I dealing with? You can see their name a few different places. Now, across from his name in the middle section right here, we come across to where there's a little telephone. It looks like a telephone. And we can click that button right there. And it is going to connect me to him. It's going to call his cell phone or his office phone, whatever is programmed in as his phone number. He'll be able to answer, and we'll have a conversation. And then when we hang up that conversation, I feel like it's a very good habit, and this is my habit. I come straight over here to this far right side, or wherever it's located in your CRM, and I click this little pencil so I can make a note. And right here in the upper right corner of the right third of the screen, there's a little add, a little plus with an add that lets me write a whole new note. And then I can say he was in a hurry and wants to call me tomorrow. Now, you might think, well, that's kind of a silly thing to put in there, but it's something I would write on a sticky note. It's something I would want to know if I look back and I say, wait a minute, I called him why didn't I talk to him? Why don't I have the answer that I need? Oh, I would see this little note. Now, this software lets you change the color here of the note. And I'm going to leave it on this peach color, and I'm going to save it. In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a little save button that saves that little note. Because later, and even years down the road, or months or weeks, or later today, I can look back and say, oh, right. He was in a hurry. He's going to call me back. So I hope you enjoyed that training. Thank you for sending in your questions. My email is right here, just below my name. You can send in questions ahead of time. It's every Thursday. We go live right here. I teach for about 20 minutes, and then I answer your questions. And you can send them in like the people did for today. You can be on here live and put it in the comments, or you can join into the screen with me and ask your questions that way. And I am thrilled to answer. I am Rita, your funnel godmother. That's why I have a crown. And I am here for you to make sure that your foundations are solid and that you understand what's going to happen when you click a button in your CRM, and that you feel like it is a revenue generating tool. It is not an expense that you grudgingly have to pay for. It should be making you lots of money and creating lots of time. And what do you do with that time? It's totally up to you, of course. But one of the best things that business owners tell me is once they get a handle on all of these systems and they're running smoothly, and they suddenly have 2 or 5 or 10 hours a week back that they were struggling with before and spinning their wheels, they can use it to get more new clients. They can use it to really love on the clients they already have. They can develop new products and develop and test new products. But the best thing that they say that they get is more quality time with the ones they love. Their friends, their family, their spouse, even themselves, just the ability to sit quietly and relax and not have a million things going through your head about the business that you're worried about or you think you might forget to do. So stay with me. Keep coming back. I'm so glad to have you. This is the Systems Rescue Power Hour. I'm Rita, your funnel godmother, and I will see you next week.